So, hi everybody, and welcome to our Soul Lounge, where tonight it gives me the greatest pleasure to share space and time with one of my favourite people on the planet, the wonderful Bruce Lipton, who, for me, can make science fun, helpful, healing, intelligent, and many, many ways that if I had him as a teacher when I studied biology, I would have gone on to become a professor because he just fills my world with the way he describes his science and his understanding of it. But for me, it's beyond science now. It's a different science that Bruce brings to the world, and I just love it because he adds a whole ton of credibility to that work, and we need that. There are many people out there may look at the spiritual side of people's lives and living as being this very special thing, but a lot of people won't take it seriously if it doesn't become backed up by science or somebody credible. So Bruce, welcome to our Soul Lounge. It's an absolute joy.
Gordon, it's so much joy for me to be with you. You're this bundle of lightning love that wherever I see him, all of a sudden my heart goes, oh, melting, my heart's melting. Right. There's so much wonder in you and the beautiful harmony that
Yeah.
exists. So thank you so much.
Well, it always gives me hope when I listen to yourself as well. And my son watched a video of you last week and he said, Dad, this guy's really good. Do you know him? And I says, I do actually. We're going to be talking next week. So my son said, Oh, I need to watch this. That'll be so cool. So he just loved it. He thought what you said was, it was
Now
one of the old interviews. Beautiful.
I hope I fulfill his wishes and
Well,
desires
you
about
you
us.
did, and you will tonight. I mean, what we've done tonight, Bruce, is we've asked some of our people, our students in different classes that we run, to send questions that they thought, or subjects that they thought you and I might be able to kick around and see how we view these subjects. And yeah, and if you're cool with that, then we can certainly go ahead and do the first one.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Okay, well, really, the first question that's come in tonight for us is: Are the brain and consciousness the same thing?
No, and
I
this
knew
is
you were going to say
important.
that, and I'm psychic.
It's important to know. Let's say you're watching a show on TV.
Yeah,
Is the show built into the TV? No, it's a broadcast received by the TV. Consciousness is a broadcast
yeah,
from our field of energy, which we get to it called spirit as a science. Okay,
yeah,
we right now are the TVs. You and I.
yeah,
You're playing the Gordon show. I'm playing the Bruce show. But what people really need to know about this, does that mean if the TV breaks and we say the TV is dead, does
yeah.
the broadcast die? And the answer is absolutely not. The broadcast's not
Yes.
in the structure, it's played to the structure. So our consciousness exists outside of our physical body. Our brain is the receiver and translator and communicator with that consciousness. But the consciousness is separate. And the most important thing when we get to know, I don't know how much we'll talk about it, but I'll give you right up
Oh,
right now. Uh,
absolutely. It's wonderful.
the body can die, but the consciousness is still here.
Yeah,
And the consciousness is an energy field. An energy field definition, field,
yeah,
invisible moving forces that influence the physical world. Okay? Well, guess what? Spirit, invisible moving forces that influence the physical world. I go, yeah, so that's why physicists can use spirit
yeah,
or field. Now, if I want to be sciencey for people, I say we each are receiving an energy download, a field. But I can be honest with them, we're each downloading a spirit and that
yeah,
consciousness of that spirit. The point, if the TV breaks, the broadcast is still here. I go,
yes,
then what? I go, each of us, I have to back up. Why are we each receiving our own spiritual station? No two people are sharing the same
Yeah,
station because no two people are the same identity. And I go, what
absolutely.
does that mean? If you want to transplant an organ, a lung, a
Yeah,
kidney, something into another person, if you transplant that organ, the recipient of that organ, their immune system will go, not
no,
self,
yeah, absolutely.
and destroy it. So, interesting point is the immune system sees physical things. I go, then what is the immune system looking at if it
Yeah,
sees why I am different than you are? Well, there's a set of receptors, and these are proteins that are like antennas, just like antennas.
yeah,
Each of us has a set, and they're called self receptors, which is
yeah.
interesting, self receivers. I go, so what
Self-receivers.
about them? I say, each of us uses this to download a unique energy field. And I say, unique, why? No two people in the world have the same set of these receptors. Each of us has our own. So each of us is downloading our own station,
Yeah,
which is our consciousness, which then, if the body is gone, the broadcast is still here. Which
broadcast is still here.
means,
I love it. One of the
well, let me,
things.
let me finish this and then I'll let you
Sure.
go because I just need to wrap it up this way. That
Yeah.
means if an embryo in the future shows up with the same set of antennas, you're back, but in a
Wow.
different TV. Does
That's
it make a difference, male or female? No, that's the TV. It's not the broadcast. And this is more
absolutely.
important. Does it make a difference if it's red, brown, white, black, yellow, that
No.
TV? I say, no, that's the TV. It's not the broadcast.
Yeah.
We are the broadcast.
The broadcast. But I love
Right.
how you use that analogy to describe consciousness because when I was studying mediumship of the past, I found out that people like Sir Oliver Lodge, a great physicist, Marconi, the people who developed the radio, of course, Sir Oliver Lodge developed the components for the radio. And all of these people, these physicists, believed that it was somehow possible to create a machine that could pick up spirit vibration and then replay it in this world. Now, these were men back at the turn of the 20th century, and they were all completely, even John Logie Baird, the guy who invented TV, he also believed it was possible to bring in waves that could actually be transmitted into this world. And there would be a spirit box, they were going to call it. The spirit box, that if there was a way to do it. Of course, a medium is your spirit box. So like your TV, that's
Yeah,
really how I see it. I download people's information and I relay it back to them. I mean,
that's right.
what you say, it so connects to my understanding of life after death and life in this world right now.
Very important about life in this world because wwhy are we here?
Why are we
Oh,
here?
we could have just been an energy field. I don't know.
Absolutely.
We have what? We have imagination, okay? And I said well, that was where our conscious spirit mind connects. Is it can make an
Yeah.
imagination, and then it can manifest imagination.
Yes.
People, how many years they thought, oh, to fly to the moon. Of course, now we have a rocket goes
Now
to
we
the
have a
moon.
rocket. Yeah.
It was an idea, imagination, but reality. Okay, and so we're creating our reality, and people don't get this. And the idea is people have devotion in the word spirit. Yes, I am a spirit. But do they have real knowing of it? The answer is not really. But they've repeated it a lot and heard it from the time they were kids.
Yeah.
But do they believe in it? And it's interesting because I always suggest a person's near death's door and they're not well. Do they go to the priest or do they go to the hospital? That will tell you where they think the
Yes. Where?
power lies at that moment. And we have to bring back the spiritual aspect because
Yes.
it's quantum physics. Quantum physics, I gave the
Absolutely.
definition energy, invisible moving forces that influence the physical world.
Yeah.
And this is why the most valid science on the planet, and that is called quantum physics, the most
Yeah.
valid, interchanges the use of field and spirit.
Yes.
And when the most valid science is saying spirit as a part of understanding,
Yeah.
then it's time I think the public has to wake up to this is not just devotion, man. There's a science here behind it.
Well, Bruce, for me, that was one of the things that got me interested in the mediumship the way I do it, because I went to Glasgow University as a young developing medium, and I attended the psychical research team, and they asked me to be their student and their subject rather, in a scientific series of tests which ran for almost 7 years. And it was just repeating the science, repeating the science, repeating the science. And I would be put in a room and I wouldn't see anybody else. They would be in another room. They would do all these things. Then maybe I'd be in Glasgow, but somebody else would be in Birmingham. And they didn't know they were receiving a reading. And I would still be saying, in fact, one of the things that was so incredible was we were making a film for the BBC. Now, as a subject of a science experiment, you don't get to know the outcome. It's not important to me, but it is to them. But because we were filmed, and I'm in Glasgow University in one building, there's an audience in another building who don't know what's happening, but they just tick boxes. And because we're being filmed, it's being broadcast. And I'm saying, okay, there's somebody in seat number 45. Her husband's called John Taylor. He died of lung cancer 3 years ago. Her name's Judy. So we don't get any answers. I get no answers. I've just to keep making statements. You can't ask a question because no one will answer me. So I make all these statements, 20 statements. So in the room of 50 people, one person can take 99%, and it's a Mrs. Judy Taylor, whose husband John died. They lived in a house called Christmas Cottage. Daddy, 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 just fact, 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 fact. So somebody said to me, that must be amazing for you. And I said, I'm just downloading and just repeating. I don't know if it's accurate or not. I just know I trust it because I've been doing it all my life and it feels right. So the moment that went out, the amount of people who became interested in my work because there was a scientific protocol attached to it in those days. And it told me that people are actually more inclined if there's some kind of scientific weight behind the spiritual thing. A lot of people are just frightened to believe in something in case it's wrong. And what if I'm wrong? Well, what if you are?
You'll not find out.
No, you won't. Well, Professor Roy, who I worked with, used to say, and his summing up of his talk, because he couldn't always come out and say he believed as being a professor of physics and astronomy. And he would say, well, let me put it this way. After watching Gordon tonight, if I find that when I die, I'm not still alive, I'll be very disappointed.
Well, there's no disappointment, not from the world of science and physics, there isn't.
No. But do you think, one of the questions they've asked us, Bruce, do you think that there's levels of consciousness after we die that we would gravitate to a particular level or grade of conscious mind?
Listen, your mind is where you're at, okay? Your spirit is mixing with your life experiences. The spirit life experiences come together in the mind, okay? If you have a very bad, I'm going to put it this way, so I give a vibration.
Yeah,
I can say there's vibration in harmony called love,
yeah,
and there's vibration that looks like this, which is noise.
yeah,
The idea is if we come from love, then we're making our vibes in a
mm,
nice sine wave, a harmony. But
yeah,
if we come from fear, then that sine wave disappears. Now it's jagged, like, whoa, 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 whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
whoa. It's like this. I say, so what? I come in with a vibration,
yeah,
but my brain takes my life experiences and translates them into vibration. My brain doesn't have a picture screen in it.
no,
It has vibration that is manifest, okay? So we used to think we put wires on a person's head,
yeah,
we could read their brain activity. I go, yeah, that's called electroencephalograph. But there's another device that reads brain activity called magnetoencephalograph. It reads the brain, same. I said, what's
from out
different?
here.
The probe. is out here.
Out here, yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
all of a sudden it says, you can't deny it. You're broadcasting your vibration out into the world and back to source.
Back to source, yeah.
And therefore, energy waves, they entangle, they engage with each other.
Yeah,
Some energy waves, when they're in harmony, create greater harmony.
yeah.
But if one wave is out of harmony with the other wave, they can cancel each other.
One
So
of
the
the ways
point,
I explained
yeah,
that, sorry, Bruce, was that when we die, that our consciousness, I said, imagine it was in a bell jar, and that bell jar was just full of all of our energy, like gases, and some gases would rise to the top, and some, because they're dense, would maybe hang in the middle, and so on and so forth. So basically, for me, the vibration that you're at will allow you to be in that particular state after death, where you
yeah.
resonate and vibrate at the same frequency as all the others that connect in your particular kind of
Right.
matrix, if you like.
So when my wave hits my source, my emitted wave hits my incoming source, they entangle.
Yes.
I change the energy of my consciousness in the field.
Yeah.
Okay? So then when the next time I come in, my life has already been messed up by maybe some bad life.
Yeah.
It's called karma. We
Yeah.
get a chance to come back and retune
Yeah.
the system to put only the good vibes in, to bring our spirit into that nice sine wave of
Absolutely.
love. And when we're out of love, it's a choppy line. But if we live a life that brings harmony back,
Yeah.
it will then. It's called constructive interference. That's the energy
Yeah.
term. That it can take an out of harmony wave and bring it back into harmony
Yeah.
again. So we come here to have experiences to adjust to the life that we would envision. So the conscious mind, separate from the subconscious,
Yeah.
the conscious mind is creative. It's got wishes and desires, okay?
Yeah.
And the idea is when we run our lives from our wishes and desires, we manifest it. That's called
Yes, we
falling in
do.
love. Falling in love and manifesting heaven on earth where the life was blah, blah, blah. Then you met this person, and 24
Yeah.
hours later, oh, life is so beautiful. And the whole point about it is what happened. And it turns out science has recognized that we are now playing from our conscious mind as the source
Yeah.
and manifesting our conscious wishes and desires. But 95% of the day, we're operating from the programs
Yeah.
that we got in the subconscious mind. And most of those programs didn't come from us. They came from our family and our
Yeah.
community. We're not living our lives with their program, but we are 95% of the time. So the idea about it is when we start to understand this,
Yeah.
if we stop playing the program and stay what's called present, stay mindful, which is what happens when you fall in love. You stop thinking.
Of course you do. It's
Because
crazy.
your thinking is interfering with your ability to control. So if the conscious mind is thinking, the subconscious mind takes over as autopilot. So
Yeah.
95% of the day, are you responding to the creative wishes and desires, or 95% of the day you're manifesting the program? And unfortunately for most
Yeah.
people, it's the latter part. So
Yeah.
finally get around to answer the question, are there levels of consciousness? I say yes. Just as much as there are levels of conscious people on this planet,
Absolutely.
there are levels of consciousness and
Yeah.
spirit.
And
Sorry it
you're
took so
right.
long to get there.
No, you put it rightly in the sense, for me, that's something I work with a lot with my students is that you don't need to wait till you die to become conscious of where you are. As you said, your mind is where you're at. And it's like this is where certain people can walk into a room and immediately resonate and go, wow, I know you, I like you, I feel this sensation. Or as you say, how when people fall in love. I love when that happens and you go off the planet a bit,
Yeah,
where you're
because
in an
now
altered state of consciousness. Yeah,
you're operating from the conscious mind,
yeah,
which is connected to the spirit. Otherwise, 95% you're operating from back here.
yeah,
But when two energy waves are in harmony,
yeah,
that's when it's called resonance. They
yeah,
resonate together, they enhance each other. So
yeah,
falling in love is good for one person, falling in love with the other person is good for them.
yeah.
Together, they both
This is it.
get this energy. Now, imagine a whole population could do
Yeah.
a similar kind of idea.
And that's something that I think a lot of people can't really get their ideas together when it comes to mass love. That feeling that is wow, beyond us. It's beyond belief, if you like. And yet, many times in my life I've experienced that with groups of people where it's like the wow factor beyond belief.
Yeah,
And people feel it and they carry it home. They go, "Oh my God, this incredible thing happened," but I don't know how to say it. I don't know. At one
yeah,
time I was in a Tibetan Buddhist temple, and just a little guy, a little Tibetan guy came up, and he just smiled at everybody, and we all went, but there was not just a smile. He exuded his energy into the room, and it was his happiness, his joy at seeing everybody smiling, and the whole place just became, I don't know, just this magnetic energy that made us all glued together in the same electric feeling. It was just wow, beyond
yeah.
words.
It's a very important point you brought up, is because the people around us, they're also broadcasting. Everybody's
Yeah,
broadcasting. Now, if everybody's broadcasting on the same band, that is what we call our reality.
yeah,
Because we're all broadcasting and creating the same image at some point. Okay? Now, if you don't like the current reality, for example, can I change it? And I go, well, you're going to broadcast change. I go, it's very difficult if you're in a community of people who don't believe you,
yeah,
because their vibration power amplified over yours will
yeah,
cancel your vibration. So it's very hard. I'm not a religious person, but Jesus said some interesting things. One of them was, he said, you can do all the things I can do, but you don't believe.
yeah,
What he was trying to say is, you don't believe in the things I'm telling you.
yeah,
The church says you don't believe in him. I go, no,
yeah.
it's believe in what he's saying, not him.
It's him.
Okay? But I like this because then he also goes on to say, I cannot do miracles in my own hometown. I go, why not? Because while he's trying to broadcast miracle
Yeah,
energy, which others could have picked up on, in his own hometown, oh, he's the carpenter's son. He's just Jesus, he's just some guy. And with their vibration, they prevented him from doing miracles.
yeah,
Well, I'm going, look at our world today.
yeah.
Miracles are possible, but it's based on how many people are in harmony with the miracle.
Absolutely.
And this is why I love to be on your show, because you're waking people up to that miracle,
It,
because
it's
that is our future.
it's the wake up that is important. I know you did as well. You had a moment in your life, because I did, where I woke up, and it's quite simply I'd been in what I termed it myself the dream stream, where I'd get up in the morning, I'd walk down the same road, I didn't take in one thing, and I arrived at my work. I did my day at work, I walked back, I noticed no one or nothing, and it was just a moment of awakening. I had a beautiful spiritual experience that took me out of my body. And it was, again, a wow. I cannot describe it in words. I have nothing. But what it did was it stayed, and everything became real in a different way. And I saw people, but I didn't just see them. I noticed everything about the colors they were wearing, the sounds they made, and my awareness had just gone boom. And this is something that I had the best proof of my consciousness through that experience, Bruce, because what it did was it filled me with happiness. And I, I'm often termed as the happy medium. But it's because I genuinely feel it. I genuinely feel this joy of life. And when even I live in the countryside, but just being there and noticing and feeling, and it's the most incredible gift to be awake, Now, everybody possesses the potential to be awake. The problem is a lot of people don't want to be awake because then you have a responsibility. If I know if I damage or harm something, it harms me. And this is where a lot of people want to live in the dream stream and stay ignorant to life. Just let it happen around them. But please believe me, people listening, wake up. It's time. It really is time for people to wake up and smell the karma.
Well, the hardest part is this. The conscious mind is connected to spirituality.
Yeah,
That's the creative wishes and desires. The subconscious mind is programs, primarily
yeah,
programmed before age 7 by watching your parents and your community and downloading their behavior as that's the behavior you're supposed to
so
use.
true.
And we got programmed, okay? And 95% of our life is coming from that program. And I go, why? Because the conscious mind can run the show. It can
Absolutely.
create the honeymoon, okay? But it can also think. And you go, what the hell is that? When I'm creating, I'm looking out my eyes like out the windshield of a vehicle and driving my biology vehicle to the right places to manifest when I am creating with conscious.
Yeah,
But conscious mind can think, and this is the whole problem of the whole damn world. I go, what
yeah.
is it? Thinking is not looking out. Thinking is looking in.
Then,
Because if you're having a thought, it's not out here,
yeah.
it's in here. So, Gordon, today's Tuesday on our recording, and
Yeah,
I can say, tell me what are you doing on Thursday with the belief it's not written in front of you right now. Can you tell me what you're going to do on Thursday? You can think about it, right?
I could think about it. Yeah,
And you can come up with an answer, right?
yeah.
Is that outside or inside where the thinking
It's
went?
inside. Yeah,
So the moment you're thinking, consciousness is not paying attention to the outside. That's why the subconscious is important because it's autopilot. It takes over. Problem. It's been programmed by other people who don't have your wishes and your
exactly.
desires. So its program is not going to take you to where you want to go. Okay? And here comes the bigger problem. Do you see your own subconscious program playing? I go, very, very rarely.
Yeah,
Because why? Why can't I see what my subconscious is? Because you're thinking and you're not looking at what's coming out. You're in your
absolutely.
mind thinking. So guess what? We do not even know we're playing a program.
Yeah,
And then I go, but here comes the problem. If it's a great program, then don't worry, because that program will bring great to you. But what if it's a dysfunctional program?
very.
Well, then 95% of the day, the time you're thinking, you will be manifesting a dysfunctional behavior. And then I go, will you say it? And I go, no, you won't. Why? Why are you playing the program? Because you're not paying attention.
Attention. Yeah,
But who will see it? I say, everybody around you. And all of
yeah,
a sudden I say, this is where responsibility comes from because
yeah.
you can blame all the people around you for your lack of success in whatever you're looking for. That person did this, that person did that. I'm a victim, I'm a victim. I go, you never noticed you were the one that sent out the message that they're responding to.
Yeah,
That invisible behavior is sabotaging you, and you're the only one that can't see it. So when you tell people you're playing a program, they look at you. No, I'm running this. I go, no, you're not.
no, it's running you.
It's running you, and your life is a printout of your program. So
Yeah,
all you have to do is look and go, hey, the things that you like that come into your life, you go, hey, cool, that's great, great program. Let's bring it in. But the things you work hard at, struggle over, the things you sweat over. I gotta work and make it. I'm making it happen. I'm working. Why are you working so hard? And the answer, the program you were downloaded with does not support that conclusion.
no.
And you're trying to override a program running 95% of the day with a computer a million times more powerful than the computer for the conscious
Yeah,
mind.
absolutely.
Life is a struggle if your programs are a struggle.
Yeah. You know, it's the essential part of my life was learning not to think, not to overthink, and not to constantly have opinions within myself. And this is what I now teach people because I was born with the ability to be a medium, and on I run about the age of 6, I almost died. I had a rheumatic fever and I was in hospital for months. And it was after that that I started to have these spiritual experiences. But I was less than 7 years old, and I had incredible abilities back then as a child. Because as a child, I had no logic then kicking in and saying that could be this, that could be no. It just happened, and I'd say, "Mum, this happened. That person was here. They were talking," and I was like the little child out of the Sixth Sense. I was running around telling people things. But that was when, and after I was 7, there was a different thing. I remember being afraid, not of spirits, never of spirits. I was afraid of people, and that came from basically a volatile family that I was brought up in. And through my practices and meditations, and I also studied Buddhism and practiced mantras. So in many ways, I love what you say, Bruce, about programming, because by doing a positive mantra repeatedly, Om Mani Padme Hum, or yeah, and you're doing it, you're reprogramming. That's what I felt. And then I saw it was pointless to have thoughts about certain things I could not change. So I practiced this emptiness. And it's in the emptiness that the mediumship happens. When I don't think about it, like I did as a child. So it was finding that little 6-year-old boy again with the trust that he had, with the openness, and being able to become him whenever I sit with people who need help or in front of an audience. It's being the little child. Don't try and own this. Don't feel it's good. Don't feel it's bad. Just do it. And that for me is that. Don't think it. Do it.
Thinking of it takes the control of the conscious mind out of play.
Yeah.
It's thinking, it's not involved with anything happening out here at this point. And that's why being mindful or staying,
Yeah.
not thinking is where your power comes from.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult in this world to do that
It is.
because
Yeah.
of the programming and all that. And it might be, we have programs. I just
Yeah.
said, how would you know what they are? I said, look at your life, things you like, good program, things you struggle, bad program. Now you know what kind of program you want to change. Can you change them? And the
Can
answer
you
is
change it?
absolutely. But most importantly, you have to recognize it's a machine in a sense. You
Yeah.
want to change it, you got to push the record button. If you don't push the record button, you can talk till you're blue in the face and nothing
Exactly.
will change. And people say, I'm giving myself a good talking to. I say, who are you talking
Who
to?
are you talking
Oh, I'm
to? Yeah.
talking to my subconscious. I go, there's nobody in there.
It's
It's a
an empty
hard
room.
drive. And so I say, well, how do you learn? And then that's the way you can change.
Yeah.
So the first way of learning is when you're under 7, your brain is not even at the level of consciousness. It's just
Absolutely.
below, called theta. Theta is a brain function characterized by imagination.
Yeah.
Children live in the imaginary world, imaginary friends, imaginary games. Uh, Pour the invisible tea into the cup, drink
Exactly.
nothing out of the cup, and that was the best tea. That's imagination.
Yeah.
But theta is hypnosis.
Yes.
And that is how a child gets the fundamental programs to get his computer online so he can use it. How do you get them? Watching.
Yeah.
Watching the mother, watching the father, taking on the roles, what their behaviors are,
Absolutely.
looking at the community, seeing the roles, see how they behave, and now you've downloaded the rules of life. So the basic programs didn't come from you.
No.
They came from watching all the other people.
Yeah.
But that's the basic programs in your hard drive,
Yeah.
subconscious, okay? How'd you get them? Hypnosis. So
Yes.
can you use hypnosis? I say you can, but you can use self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
What's that? Remember, the brain has all different levels of vibration. Theta is just below consciousness. Above theta is alpha, which is calm consciousness. And
Yeah.
above that is beta, which I
Yeah.
hope most of our viewers are in because that's thinking consciousness.
Yeah.
And theta was what you were in below consciousness for
Yeah.
7 years, hypnosis. But then after age 7, you became conscious and you were able now to use the computer. But you're only using it when you're not thinking.
Yeah.
Because when you're thinking, the function of
You're right. Yeah.
creation is not functioning anymore. So the important part here is how can I change the program? I said, well, how did you get it? First, number one, you got it through hypnosis. Important point, very quick. High vibration when you're awake. When you fall asleep, alpha cancels,
Hmm.
and now you're in theta, asleep, meaning the conscious mind's
Yeah.
disconnected, but the subconscious mind is still working because it's theta.
Yeah.
Hypnosis for a short period of time before it goes to even a lower vibration called delta, which is unconscious. Okay? So every night when you go to bed, there's a short period after you disconnect, you're falling asleep, your brain's operating in theta. So if you put earbuds in or earphones and you are playing a program with a message, positive
Yeah.
present tense message, going into your head and repeat that, it will make a
It's a
download.
mantra. Yeah.
And the best part about it is, what do you have to do? I say, go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Get out of the machine.
Yeah.
Let the machine do
Yeah.
this, okay? And that's the first way we learn. The second way was, hey, you learn things after age 7. How'd you do that? How'd you learn how to drive a car, play a music instrument? How'd you learn how to do some
Yeah.
task? The answer is repetition,
Absolutely.
habituation. You make a habit
You
by
do.
repeating a habit.
Yeah.
And the more you repeat it, the more it downloads. So you want to change your behavior, then change your habit
Absolutely.
and change your belief. It doesn't have to be physical, it could be
Yeah.
emotional. If you're not happy, just every day, as many times as you can during the day to yourself, you say, I am happy. I am happy.
Yeah.
No matter how much miserable stuff is going
Exactly.
on, you have to say, I am happy.
Yeah.
Why? The brain is recording repetition. And there'll be a point where you won't have to say I'm happy because now it's downloaded as a habit and you'll wake up
Yeah.
happy. So the first way is hypnosis, the
Yeah.
second way is repetition,
Like
and there's
affirmations or something.
affirmations, repeat
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
habituate, repeat
Yeah.
it, repeat it, repeat it. It's really important. And there's a new technology which engages super learning that
Ah.
does what? Allows you to change programs and some of them up to 10, 15 minutes, rewrite a whole program that ruined your life. A program you can rewrite in 10 to 15 minutes through
Wow.
energy psychology. There are different versions. So I'll give people this
I
so they
love
know
that.
where to go. On my website, which
Yeah.
is easy, brucelipton.com. Under belief change, there's a whole section called self. No, it's called belief change,
Yeah.
and it gives one of the sessions has 20 or 25 different modalities, different versions of energy psychology that you can use. And this is necessary for me. Why? Because it was fast.
Yes.
It could
We
happen
need
in
fast.
minutes. It changed my whole life.
Wow.
And so there's many different ones. I leave a paragraph describing them and a website to get in touch with them. That's for you. I'm not going to tell people, which I sometimes do, but I don't want to. I'm
Ah,
not a
tell.
guru. I'm not a guru. I'll tell you how it works. I'm not going to tell you how to make it work for you.
No.
You figure out how it works. I tell you how the mechanism works, and then you are free to then engage that mechanism.
Yeah.
And that's the most
That's
important
it's
part.
really important though. I mean, everything that you've said there, the amount of people who could really benefit from that knowledge, just changing their program, changing their habits. For me, I called it attitude is everything. That was my mantra. Attitude is everything. And every day I woke up, I thought, attitude is everything. How I program my attitude today is how I'm going to be. And I started by thinking, I'm going to take good feelings into work today. I'm going to make people feel good. And in those days, I was a hairdresser, a barber, and I just thought, cheer people up, make them feel good, and it changes my life when I change somebody else's life. It's just something magical. And I know you knew Louise Hay, but I worked once with Louise way back, and said to me one morning, she said, you know, you don't believe in what you do. And I said, excuse me? She said, no, you are what you do. She said,
Yeah.
it's beyond belief, Gordon. And
Yes.
I said, yeah, I suppose so. I said, because I don't question it. I've gone beyond questioning it. It just is. And she, again, was this wonderful self-help guru. And like you, Bruce, I'm not a guru, but I've seen some of the signposts on the road that I can offer to other people and say, if you do this, that is the next step. You'll find your way to this. Just follow the good pattern of living and count your blessings. That's my favorite saying now. Count your blessings. That's how you're happy. My kids are still healthy. My granddaughter's doing well. She's the little things in life are the biggest rewards. And it's so beautiful to see your own life, your own world becoming happier because you are injecting your energy, your positivity, your attitude
Yeah.
into the world.
Gordon, this is a fact for the audience
Yeah,
uh, that 80 to 90% of all the people will not test positive for the belief, I
yeah,
love myself.
yeah,
And I said, well, what's the issue? I said, well, if your program is you don't love yourself, then realistically, how can anybody else love
yeah,
you? Because then you would look at them and say, "Oh, well, you don't know me. I'm not lovable." You know, you would
yeah,
chase people away, and then
yeah,
every possible relationship they left because you were saying, "I'm not lovable,
yeah,
and we don't. It can't work." And then you're alone, and then you say, "See, I'm not lovable. Nobody's here." I go, "You did this." The other one, because there's two beliefs, 80 to 90%. Is they will not test positive for the belief I am safe because the world isn't. And this is
that's true.
especially true for women. They grow up in a world that's 100% not safe.
Yeah,
And that not safe means then you're in protection.
yeah,
You're hiding. You're keeping yourself invisible as best as you can.
absolutely.
Why? I'm not here. Don't bother me.
Yeah,
Fear, living in fear. And I go, this is the ruination of many
it is.
people's lives. And so, two fundamental beliefs would change the whole world. Because if people could learn to love themselves, they would be like you, be
Yeah,
like me, wake up, I'm in
yeah,
love.
yeah.
Guess what? I live a honeymoon every, I like to say it this way. I have a honeymoon every stinking day. I love my life. I wake up,
Yeah,
I learned something very important.
I do.
And it came from Jesus again, from the non religious
Yeah,
Bruce is
yeah,
telling you this. When the crucifixion, he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. I go, that is exactly the problem.
of course it is.
Why?
Yeah,
We're all spirits. We all
yeah,
have the great love and intention of a spirit, but we're operating from programs that we can't see it.
yes,
So we're doing what we cannot see what we're doing.
yeah,
Okay, we know not what we're doing because the program has been doing it and you were thinking. And the issue about that is, I started to look at that. I realized even bad people, they
yeah,
all had good souls when they
yeah,
came in. They had bad programming.
yes.
And at some point, I started to realize I can't blame people. I can't say you're the problem because it's your program that's the
The
problem.
problem. Yeah,
And can I still like them? I say as a spirit, yes, I can
yeah,
certainly appreciate them. But do I have to be with them? Not necessarily, not
yeah,
unless it changes the program, but I can forgive them. I forgive
yeah,
them. And that means I can wake up and see a world filled with good people, people
yeah,
who are good people but behaving like idiots, and love them. And what does that mean? Like you, and I so would like to be
yeah,
in your shadow of this, Gordon, is to wake up in that love every day.
yes,
Because then when you send out a vibration of love, what resonates? What's in harmony with love?
yeah,
More love. And when you
absolutely.
send out love, it's like the moth goes to the light. When you send out love, people who experience and desire love will
Yeah,
be all around you. which means you're surrounding yourself with love. You know, that's a barrier that keeps the bad stuff out.
This is it. And the sad thing about the bad stuff, it only comes from fear.
Yes?
And we look at that and think, even as I was practicing my Buddhism, and we learned that, bad people, the Buddha didn't say that it was bad people. He said some people behaved badly at times. That he said all bad behavior can be corrected, karma can be changed. And that's what he said. And his very first teaching, which I loved, was that if he had 2 grains of rice and he shares one with an undesirable and untouchable, not only does he improve that man's day, but he also improves his own karma by sharing. And the man improves his own karma by receiving, allowing another good deed to be done. And a lot of people today are just so frightened to do good. They either want to be so spiritual, but I'm spiritual. And I don't really understand why this need to be so spiritual. Just be good. Just be decent. I think of my mum and dad, and they were non-religious people, but my dad was a good builder, and he helped people in our street that didn't have much. He did it with his hands. My mum was one of the kindest women, tough as old boots she was. She would fight with people in the street. She was angry and aggressive, but the kindest heart. And I learned from those two people more than I ever did in a church or a temple about being good. Just be decent. Just help
Yeah.
your neighbor. Be kind whenever got the opportunity. And for me, that's true spirituality. It really is. You don't
Uh,
need to be seen as a saint.
yeah.
Just, that's the last thing I could ever be, Bruce, as a saint. And I don't want to.
Not with
No,
my history either, my friend.
no, that's a horrible existence. No, I need life
So,
to have a little bit of fun and rough and tumble and,
yeah.
got to be in the life, got to
Hey,
feel it.
it's life. It was meant to be experienced, you know?
It is
And this
so.
part that's very important is we're facing a crisis in civilization.
Yeah,
It's an evolutionary crisis. We're not sustainable, meaning civilization can no longer support itself. I go, why? Because science has recognized it takes the resources of 1.6 planet Earths to provide for today's civilization.
wow.
I go, well, let's do the math. We have one planet Earth. Where are you getting the extra zero point 0.6?
Yeah,
And the answer is we're destroying the environment.
yeah.
And the problem with destroying the environment is that some people believe we are separate from the environment. No,
No,
we
we're
are an
not.
evolution of the environment. We are dependent on that environment. And the issue about it is simply this: if we destroy the environment, then we can no longer sustain ourselves.
Absolutely.
And science has given us 20 years saying there are two things you have to change to bring this back to order. First of all, get rid of culture, civilization as we know it today,
Yes.
and rebuild it. Well, the important lesson: if you want to rebuild civilization on a new consciousness, you have to eliminate the old civilization.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at the news today, globally,
Yes.
chaos all over the planet in
Everywhere.
every form you can think of. I go, you know what that is? That is the breaking down of a civilization that is
Yeah.
not sustainable. And look, it's not that I like to see it happen, but I know if it doesn't happen, we're going to be in worse shape. It
Yeah.
has to collapse so that we can gather together to create a better civilization, one in harmony with ourselves
Yes.
and in harmony with nature. And we're out of harmony on both of those.
We are.
So we're given a call. We are in an evolutionary upheaval. And
We
the
are.
falling down of the old is vital to create a new.
Yeah.
So we have to get out of fear. We have to gather together. I say, gather who? I go, those that begin to recognize the difference between heaven and hell and the fact that maybe they should stop contributing to the old story and
Yeah.
start living a new story of harmony, sharing, taking care of each other,
Yeah.
nurturing, mothering the planet that we've been so
Yeah. The
systematically
simple
destroying.
things.
We are in an evolutionary upheaval. Charles
Yes.
Darwin is unfortunately responsible. His name is behind it.
He does, yeah, he holds that one.
Darwinian evolution summarized as a struggle for survival with a competition for fitness.
Hmm.
And I go, what does that mean? Well, the culture has got a belief
Yeah,
that life is a threat, it's a struggle. You believe that, then you're going to behave as if it is.
yeah,
And you want to be the fittest. I said, how do you do that? You get the most you can. And
yeah,
I said, we got 1% of the population that owns more wealth than the 90% of the population has. I go, why is that important? Because are they playing by any moral rules? I go,
hmm,
aha, that's what's left out of Darwin. Survival of the fittest shouldn't be any way you
no,
can get there. You got Einstein, you got a jerk with an
yeah.
Uzi. I know who's going to win that
Who's going to
one.
win? Of course they are, yeah,
Right. So the idea is this: we've been living out of morality. You can do anything you want to get ahead to win over the other guy.
yeah,
It's totally a wrong understanding of biology.
yeah,
Biology is based on cooperation. A garden in which were created,
yeah.
a garden, by definition, is the height of community.
It really is,
Everything,
yeah.
insects, animals, plants,
The
all
whole
are in harmony.
ecosystem, yeah,
We came from a garden and we have destroyed it.
yeah,
And we have to come back. And to come back to the garden means we have to do those things that you and I have been talking about,
yeah.
coming from a different point of view, getting out of competition first and recognize it's only helping each other and helping the planet is the only way
Is the only
out
way.
from here. And therefore, we are facing a collapse. And people are so afraid. I'm going, don't try and change the old system. There was a futurist, Buckminster Fuller, a
Yeah,
futurist, and he said, don't go and change the old, step outside,
yeah.
build the new.
Build the new.
And
That's
this
it.
is why I'm honored to be with you on this show because you've been offering steps to get outside,
Yeah,
build the new one. Because if you stay in the old one, it's going down.
yeah.
And if
It
you
is.
stay in there, you're going down.
Yeah,
Look at the health crisis on this planet. And therefore, uh, all of us have to recognize we're a community. And a community, everybody has a job. We all have something to contribute to support the whole. Some jobs are all great, like a corporate job or something like that. Well, I
yeah,
go, that's like neurons, big job, okay?
yeah.
Skin cells, a small cell, but guess what? You can't live without them either.
Absolutely.
So then the
Everything
idea is
supports everything.
all of our jobs, whether it's anything from a skin cell helping clean a street to a neuron helping heal a patient,
Yeah,
we all have something to do, but it has to be in harmony with what? A vision of a garden.
hmm,
And that garden is harmony, and harmony is music, and music is love, and it's not noise.
that's true. It's love. It's not noise. I love that. Our last question this evening that's been put to us is: do you believe that you've found your purpose?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought my purpose was when I was a research scientist at big universities like Stanford Medical
Yeah.
School and stuff like that, where I was working. Uh, I realized at some point that I was getting knowledge that was not going to come out through that system because corporate wouldn't want it out because
Mm,
I
yeah.
saw the knowledge of self-empowerment
Yeah.
and I walked off my job. I had tenure at a university, which means a job for
For
life,
life. Yeah.
and I walked out because I realized this system is not helping. And I know the answers from my research don't match what they're
Yeah.
teaching. So I said, I can't go in there. I have to teach out here. And ever since then, that's my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm teaching what? Self empowerment. God knows that we have lost that we have any
Yeah.
power when we are actually each a creator. Your life is a creation. You have to have responsibility though, because if it's not working right, It means you have to change the way you're thinking and
Yeah.
move into another way. And that's what we're here for.
For me, I definitely have found my purpose in this world, and it was. I believe I was attracted into my family because of the aggression, the fear, the different things that I had to experience as a child. And then my role was to wake up and break the patterns, overcome the fears, which I did in my 20s and late 20s. I truly woke up and it was like a different person. It was the same person, but I felt renewed. I felt
Oh,
alive. And I go beyond belief with what I do because belief would still suggest that I had doubts or questions, and I don't. So for me, what I do is the absolute purpose that I came here for. And there's no more questions I have within my own mind. That's gone. And I try to live in the moment, day to day. And whenever someone's sent my way, I do my best to just interact in a way that will be conducive to their life, maybe give direction, guidance, simple things. And I don't know that I was sent to change the world, but I was certainly here to change my world. And it's what I offer people. You might not be on your own to change the whole world, but individually, you can change the world you live in. And I do believe that this is something that is worth sharing with people to find the
100%.
higher part of self. It really is, Bruce.
100% behind that, the exact statement. Because if I can have somebody be happy around me, then I'm in their happy field.
Yeah,
And the more people surrounding me that are in their happy field, my happiness is so easy.
yeah,
I'm not fighting the stream. I'm supported by everyone around. That is our evolution. And you're right. We came here. I don't believe we ended up in a family by accident.
no, I don't either.
Before we decided to come back into a body, remember, our spirit was there after
Yeah,
the body was gone. Before we jumped back into a body, I believe we had a mission of
yes,
why we picked who the family was, where we were living, what the time was, everything, because it was something to be learned. And as you said, when is it done? When you learn.
absolutely.
And that, once you learn, then guess what? This is a playground.
Yeah,
And a lot of people think you die and go to heaven. And I keep trying to say, please don't waste your time.
no,
This is heaven. What? This is a creation. What do you want to create? You
yeah,
can do it here. And people are waiting for the afterlife. I go, no, you're going to miss it then because
yeah, don't miss
this
this.
biology is this amazing technology that allows your mind to move and work
You can
and
have a heaven on
feel.
earth.
Oh, the whole
I mean,
idea.
we have a heaven on earth. We have a heaven on earth. And that's what heaven is. Don't waste your time, as you say, looking for, this all well lit heaven. The spirit world as described by Victorian mediums was just a really well lit version of Kensington in London. That's what it looked like. Because they were rich. That's what they probably seen.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a heaven. But actually, a heaven is how you feel. It's a state of self. And each day you wake up and know that you feel love for you, for others, for your life. That's heaven. It doesn't get much better, guys. So don't go wasting your time looking for
No.
things when you already have it.
You
That's
know
that's
what's
what heaven is.
interesting, Gordon? I've been in India a number of different times, and to see the most impoverished people in the world
Yeah,
I've ever seen,
yeah,
children in garbage piles looking for food, with pigs and cows trying to get there first, these
yeah.
kids seeking food. I've never seen happier children,
I
and
agree.
they had nothing.
I agree, Bruce. I was once in South Africa, in Soweto, and we were there, some of us, to help the little orphans of AIDS, and they had nothing. One little girl who was looking after the whole team, she was only 4, she was the oldest one, and she had one half of a sandal on. So that was it. And they gave me a little bit of their rice, it was all they had, and we shared it. And these kids sung for me, and when they sung in harmony, and you could feel the love and you could feel the happiness, and I thought, My God, if these young kids can feel happiness in this horrible shanty town, then why can't people who have all this stuff feel joy and happiness for their everyday life, which is so valuable?
I think you hit it there when you said when they have all this stuff,
Yeah,
because it was accumulating the stuff that was the mission,
that's
not
yeah,
to enjoy it, but to
exactly.
accumulate
Just
it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a very important part.
Yeah.
It's not the amount of money. Matter of fact,
No.
money could spoil you and get you away from this, what we're looking for.
Yeah, it does, and I've actually had that experience coming not from money, but having money and then blowing it and wasting it, and it actually creating a whole different dynamic until I wake up one day and think, none of this is real. You don't need all of that. You just need to feel good, and that starts when you tell yourself you are good.
Well, I want to tell you, when I'm around you, Gordon, I feel good because your vibe just enhances my life so much. And I know that people that are watching you are there for the very same reason. And so keep up your broadcasting from your mind and from your computer. Keep them broadcasting because I know when I get near you, I feel so much lighter and happier.
Well, Bruce, in the words of Patrick Swayze in the film Ghost, ditto. Thank you so much, and
I
thank
want
you to everyone. I don't think you could have a more easy, enjoyable conversation than with this beautiful, beautiful, lovely man.
I so appreciate you. And let me just close with this. And to my audience, your audience, you're in the right place to go to the better place.
Yes.
And that's where we want to go. Because now that I've been there, I look back and go, oh my God, everything I wanted was already
Yeah,
here.
it's already here. Bless you, Bruce. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah.